Today we're going to talk about choosing which method to solve systems of equations with. So far we've had 3 different methods. The first one was graphing. The next one was substitution. And the third one was elimination. Now, we want to talk about today what are the different pros and cons of solving by graphing, substitution, and elimination, so we can use these to decide which is the best method to solve each system of equations with. Okay, so when we talk about graphing, several pros. First of all, it's easy. Okay? It gives you a good idea of where the point is. You can see the point. Of intersection. Okay? And it's good when, it's easy when both equations are in slope-intercept form. Okay? Some of the cons. It doesn't work if the solutions or the points of intersections are not integers. So if you get fractions in your solutions, we have to use another method in addition to graphing, which takes twice the time. And the bad part about this is you can't predict when you're going to get fractions in solutions. So, solving by graphing is a good starting place, perhaps, but it doesn't usually provide us with a good answer. Now let's talk about solving by substitution. And solving by substitution is good when one of the equations is already solved for x, y, for x or y. So if you got an x equals situation or a y equals situation going on, then you can use substitution, and it's very easy, okay? Very few cons with this. One of those is, though, you can have math errors. A lot of people forget to distribute properly or things like that. So sometimes we can have math errors with that. And sometimes if you want to use substitution but you don't have the x equals or y equals, you sometimes have to solve for x equals or y equals. If it doesn't already come like that. Okay? So, that's all about substitution. With substitution, basically, if you see an x equals or a y equals, substitution is going to be your quickest way to solve it. Now, finally, let's talk about elimination. These are good when both equations are in standard form. And standard form is when you have your x's and y's on one side of the equation. So it looks something like ax plus by equals c. When it looks like this, it can be simpler than substitution. Okay? It's also fast when you have this and you have coefficients that are multiples of each other. Okay. One of the cons is you can have math errors. And this can happen especially when you have to create coefficients that cancel out. Okay? So sometimes, even when we have our equations that look like this, we have to create those canceling coefficients, and that can lead to a few math errors. But still, it is usually a lot less writing than substitution. So let's identify which method would be best to solve and why. For this one, both of our equations are solved for y equals mx plus b, right? Which makes it good to at least try graphing. Okay? Looking at our next one on this, we see we have a positive 3y and a negative 3y. That leads me to say, wow, both of these are in standard form, so let's try elimination. For our third one, we have an x equals situation. So let's try substitution. For the fourth one, okay, we have everything in standard form, and 3 does go into 6. So if I were to multiply everything in that top equation by -2, I would create coefficients that cancel each other out. So let's try elimination on that one. Here we have an x equals and a y equals. I'm going to try substitution. Here we have 2 in slope-intercept form, so try to graph. Here we have positive and negative y situation. Try elimination. Here we have an x equals and a y equals, so I would try substitution. Okay? So, this gives you a good idea of the best methods. All of them could work. Some of them require more effort to work than others, though. And since we all like to minimize the time that we spend doing each problem, learning the fastest way for the different configurations is what we're trying to show today. Let me know any questions you have as a result of this video, and I will see you in class.